because nobody's gonna do your business like you. That's the reason why I'm in the van every day. Every day I'm in the van doing something. Even if I'm not working, I'm doing something to promote my business or fixing on vans, looking at vans, just keeping them up to date. But it's very important for you yourself as an owner to be in that van.
Hey guys, welcome back to NEMT Van Talks. I'm Jasmine,
And I'm Monica.
and we're the owners of an NEMT business based here in California. Now, today we have a special guest. We have Martin of Will You There Transportation. Hey, Martin, how are you?
Hey, how y'all doing? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
I get so excited when I see you on Instagram, really documenting your journey of your NEMT business. And so I am honored to have you here on our platform, to have you share your story of how you got started and what the NEMT business looks like for you, in your business. So I would like to start out by, opening up the platform to you to just share a little bit of information about where you're located, what area you operate in, and how long you've been in business.
Okay, my name is Martin, owner of Will You There. We're based out of here in North Carolina. My main areas are Durham and Raleigh, North Carolina. Been doing this about almost 2 years this year, make 2 years.
And within that 2 year period, Martin, how many vehicles do you have?
Three,
And what level of service do you offer?
ambulatory, wheelchair, and non-emergency stretcher.
So we've prepared some questions for Martin. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right in and, ask our questions so that we can give our viewers some information on what the day-to-day operations look like for Will You Bear Transportation.
All right. So, Martin, your first question. Can you share with us what inspired you to start Will You There Transportation? What inspiration you had behind starting your business?
So the reason why I started the business, first I got to go back. My backstory is I had a logistics company, and I was running it for about 5 years. I was going up and down the East Coast, West Coast, just all of 50 states, pretty much. And one thing, I was trying to find something that I did locally without having to go over the road anymore. And one day my grandma had got sick, and she was having a lot of hard time getting to and from her appointments. She had cancer, by the way. So she needed to go to these appointments very badly. So, and I couldn't get there because she was staying in Maryland. And then one day I was just like, let me look up something that could help, help people around my way and see if I could get into it. And so, I researched. Well, first I started ambulatory. I mean, not ambulatory, ambulance. I looked at that, but it seemed like it was going to be a little harder to get the start up. And next thing I knew, I started non-emergency transport. I did my research. I read some books. I looked up on YouTube, found people who was doing it. And next thing you know, I bought one van, and I went from one van to three.
So when you started your NEMT business, did you have a strong plan in place, or did you just kind of like hop right into it?
I just hopped right into it. I bought the van. I found out the requirements needed. Went and got the first aid CPR training. And next thing I know, I just got made the logo, made the name, got the LLC, got the bank account, and next thing you know, I just went door to door promoting my business.
All right.
That's interesting because we have had consultation calls with so many people that are in the trucking space looking to
Mhm.
get into non-emergency transportation. And since we have you on our platform, like what advice would you give to someone that may be in the trucking space looking to get into NEMT? Would you recommend that they, transition to NEMT or stay in the space that they're currently in?
It really depends on the person because you have to be a people person in this type of field. You can't be. It's not like trucking you by yourself. With this, you're dealing with all type of people each in and out of your vehicle. You're in hospitals, you're in nursing homes, so you have to be a people person. In trucking, you don't have to be a people person. You can just pick up the load, get your paperwork signed, and keep it moving. So that's my advice. If you're not a people person, stay in trucking.
That's
Okay.
good advice.
That's some good, yeah, that is some good advice. Martin, did you say when you started, did you start with one vehicle and go to three, or did you start with three vehicles initially?
I started with one. I started with one
Okay,
vehicle.
okay. How long did you feel like it took you to grow and expand your fleet to three vehicles?
Actually, I think I did about 4 months with just one, and then I just went ahead and bought another one. But of course, I had capital from my truck and selling my trucks and stuff like that. So I just bought another one because I was thinking long term, like, what if this one breaks down? I need to have something to jump into to make sure no rides get missed. Because at the beginning, it's mandatory to be able to handle your loads what you get.
Well, so with the one vehicle that you started with, was it ambulatory or wheelchair?
I actually bought the bigger van, like a E350,
Okay.
that I could have two wheelchairs in. Also, I could do ambulatory. I did that way because I seen that. Well, I really didn't know what I was doing, so I just bought a van. The first van I seen that was wheelchair accessible. But when I started doing it with the nursing home, especially, it kind of helped me out that I had a bigger van at the beginning because I was able to help them do anything.
All right. So my next question to you is, what was the biggest challenge you faced when starting your NEMT business?
Really, just getting the business, getting people to work for my new company. Because when you're a new company, people don't like dealing with new companies because they're used to the old company. So I just had to show them that this is the reason why you still with my company over this company. And I'm not even trying to get in the way of this company. I'm just here for backup.
Okay.
So they can't
Okay.
do it. I'm here for you.
So you pretty much just, show value and
Show
Mm-hmm.
value. That's
really
correct.
reassured the facilities that, you're the man. You're the man
Yes,
to get
yes,
the job
yes.
done.
You're right. Like basically, and another thing I could say that we add with that is I did an extra service that other people didn't do, and that was being on call 24/7
Oh,
after
okay.
hours, before hours. That right there kind of got me in the game in the loop a little fast. Also,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And that's funny you mentioned that because one of the other interviews that we did with a young lady out in Virginia, she
Mm,
said, 3 o'clock in the morning, she got a call 3 o'clock in the morning, she gonna go do that trip at three
yeah,
o'clock in the morning.
yeah,
So I feel that it is important for NEMT providers when you are first starting out. It doesn't always have to remain this way, but
hmm
when you are first starting out, you gonna have to make some, you
yeah.
really
some
gonna have to step
sacrifices.
up, make some
Yeah.
Sacrifices,
sacrifices.
exactly.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And I think that's the part that people miss the most too, as well. Like you have to make some sacrifices in your business. You have to do some things that you probably wouldn't want to do. Like who want to get out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning? But
Exactly.
to really grow your business and to get it out there, like you gotta do whatever it takes to make it
Got to do
happen.
whatever it
It
takes,
takes it,
whatever
it
it
takes
takes.
a certain type of person for sure.
Yeah, for
For sure, you
sure.
got to hustle. It's not gonna just
Mhm.
hand to you. I know that for sure. That's another advice. You have to work. Do not just get this business and put people in your vans. I guarantee it will not do as successful it would be if you're in the van.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what has been the most rewarding part of running your NEMT business, would you say?
I could say I get to make money and help people. So that's a win right there by itself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
I
good
like that.
feeling. It's a good feeling. I remember I think it was either Thanksgiving. Was it Thanksgiving, Martin, where you were transporting?
Oh yes, ma'am.
I saw
Yes,
you on
ma'am.
Instagram. You were
Yes, ma'am.
transporting. I mean, isn't it a good feeling to make that money during the holidays, but also help people out, get them to,
Mhm.
spend time with their loved
Yeah,
ones?
definitely. Definitely. It definitely rewarding. It's like if something happened to me, I get older, I would definitely hope that there's a company out here that can move me to go see my family. Especially there's a lot of people that haven't been out the facilities and stuff for 2 years. I
Yeah,
remember this Thanksgiving, this guy was just so happy, man. He ain't been out that facility in 2 years. So for him to get out and see his family, they enjoyed that. They enjoyed that. So it felt
Yeah.
good.
yeah.
And
Even the
that's
car ride.
reward. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
very.
Maybe
that's
like
rewarding within itself.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah, it'd be like a field trip for them. They'd be looking
yeah,
out the
yeah,
window.
yeah, yeah. Exactly,
and be amazed at certain things that they haven't seen. Like this was here before, and now this area has changed. Like you
exactly.
learn so much from them as well. Like, yeah,
Right.
but when we were driving like that as well, like I used to enjoy that as well because that is a rewarding part of this industry, being
Mhm.
able to give back and
Right.
just to see the joy on the family faces as well. Like it
Oh,
means so much. So
yeah.
yeah.
All right. So my next question is, how did you choose Durham, North Carolina as your service area?
So at the beginning, it was very hard to get into Raleigh, and Raleigh is where I'm originally from, but it's so hard to get, 'cause that's the capital of North Carolina. So it's very hard to get contracts. It's hard to get business out there with. So what I started in the first people that gave me a contract was in a small town, which is closer to Durham. So I moved to Durham to be closer to that town because I knew I had built a relationship enough to the point where I knew they were going to use my company. So I moved to Durham, and Durham is only 30 minutes from Raleigh. So it's kind of in the middle of Raleigh and where I'm trying to go and all the other areas. So it's really right in the middle of all the areas that I can, service. So that was my real thought process on why Durham is my location.
Now, with that contract that you got at that facility, what was your approach, like you just mentioned earlier, like, hey, I'm not trying to step on any other NEMT provider's toes, but I'm here if you need me, my services. What was your approach to get that contract?
My approach more was getting a meeting with the right people, honestly, because I went in there, I was asked for administration at the beginning. Then I seen that wasn't working at most facilities because administrators always busy or on a meeting or a call. So then I asked for the social worker because I had went somewhere and the social worker was who was like, yeah, you need to talk to the social worker. So I talked to one social worker. That social worker got into the administration ear and told them like, hey, this company can't help us. We are having issues with getting these transports. So I think they really can help us like right now. So it took me going up there a few times, and then that's how it progressed to the next level.
And I do recall on your social media platform where you share so much information about your journey. I do recall one time I saw you where you hosted a meeting with
Yes,
the facility staff.
yes,
And I think you even brought in lunch or something, right?
yes. And that's another thing that I also do. And that's after I get inside, I bring them food, just introduce my company to them. And that point, that meeting that you're talking about, I was trying to introduce them to a non-emergency stretcher. And that's what I was like, I need to let them see it because they automatically gonna throw you off. But I'm like, look, I got lunch for you, and give me about 10 minutes to do a presentation for you, and that has taken me a long way, honestly.
So you see the benefit in having those meetings and bringing lunch along when you're
Yes, yes,
going out to
yeah,
facility trying to introduce your services.
definitely because I'm not coming empty-handed. People always want something, but don't never give nothing. You have to give something to get something. Just like you got to make money, you got to have money to make money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even with that though, because I think we've probably provided lunch like a handful of times in our 6 years, but sometimes you go in there and bring lunch and you still don't get no contract or
Oh
no.
yeah, that's a part of the game.
That's part of the business.
Like
Yeah.
I've done it a few times, didn't get no contract, or they not even looking for contracts. But the whole thing is, you never know who's watching, who's in that meeting that might
Mhm.
leave that building and go to another building and bring my name up then. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it'll work out either way.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is not on our list of questions, but I think it's important for us to discuss like the first meeting that you went into to share with them more information about the stretcher or your
Mm-hmm.
services. How did you feel in that moment? Like, were you nervous? How did the meeting go? Did it go better than expected? What was your experience with that?
So honestly, I was like rehearsing on what I was gonna say so much, reading it because I had wrote it down, reading it. Like I was definitely a little nervous. But I can speak in front of people, but it's like I really didn't even know the stuff about this stretcher as much because I was learning it all at once while I'm trying to do the presentation. So when I got up there, I started talking, kind of was a little nervous, but as soon as I got one laugh, I snapped right out of that. So then it's pretty much easy after that. So every time I did it since then, it's really easy because I know what I'm talking about. Like I really was winging it at first, but now I really know what I'm talking about.
So give our viewers a piece of advice. Like if they are going into a facility to market their services, what's one piece of advice that you would give them?
Look people dead in their eyes when you're talking.
Okay.
That's a good one right there. Look them dead in their eyes while you talk, and
I
know
like
and just I don't I try to tell guys like same way you approach a girl to get her number is the same way you need to approach them. That's why I can tell the men anyway.
Okay. All right. All
Yeah,
right. I don't think a man ever looked me dead in my eyes, but
maybe
yeah,
because maybe you be intimidating.
yeah. They might be scared or something. I don't know.
that could, that's a great
Intimidating.
point.
Okay, so Martin, what type of clients does your company primarily serve? And how did you identify your target audience? Like, how did you know exactly who you want to identify for your target audience?
I think we do more wheelchair. I really didn't identify. I really just started seeing what was needed. Well, it is
Mark
identifying,
just
but
hopped in.
yeah,
He hopped
I
in.
Right.
just
He's
hop.
like, give me
I
the
really
money.
not like everybody else. I just hopped in there. Whatever I seen was needed. Like I seen y'all advertising that Broder chair. That first week, I started seeing like, oh, it was like, did y'all do Broder? I'm like, Broder. So I typed it in. I found the Broder chair. I honestly was blessed because I ran into a guy that was like, "Oh, you want to get a broder?" Well, well, my fact, let me go back. I called a guy and he told me the price of the broder. And at that time, I had spent on the vans, spent on merchandise and stuff like that, so I didn't have any money left over. But this guy was like, "Look, I can bring you one and you can rent it from me. Matter of fact, you can hold it for a month before you make the first payment on
Wow.
the broder chair."
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
he did it low key. The business didn't even know he was doing that. Then when I started paying, he upgraded my broker check to a brand new one. He got like it got shipped, and I started making payments on that one. Yeah,
Wow.
but that's
Wow.
all about just trying, just talking. Like that was a blessing, honestly.
Networking. The power
Definitely,
of
Networking,
definitely,
right?
networking.
definitely, definitely.
Hmm.
Was he a salesperson or was he?
Yeah, he's a salesperson for the brokers, and he just
Oh, awesome.
happened to be like, "Oh, I understand it," but that's why you learn stuff because he gave me the broker chair that kind of was like the one they use inside the nursing homes. So
Okay.
then I
Mm.
started looking at another company. I'm like, hold on, my chair don't look like that one. So I called him and was like, you got a different type of chair, the one with the Mac wheels on it? So and then he gave me a different chair. So it's all about trying
Awesome.
to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
what has your experience been with that chair? Like, does it
Oh,
make
yeah,
you?
it's definitely needed. Definitely needed. Definitely
Yeah.
needed.
I have to say, as far as I know, we're the only NEMT company in Orange County and even
Mm,
maybe even LA County with the Traversa Broda chair. And so,
okay.
like, when we go into facilities and stuff, we get so many eyeballs, and it really
Mm-hmm.
makes me feel really good because it's, people want to know, like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? And it
Mm-hmm.
opens up the opportunity for conversation, you know?
Exactly.
So we
Exactly.
may not be talking about a contract, but we could talk about this chair. And in
right.
talking about this chair, we can eventually start talking about that contract.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next question to you is, can you walk us through your typical day as an NEMT business owner?
So typical day would be get up, check the emails, check the GPS to see where the drivers are located. Be on time. Then I'll probably get in my van and head to a job myself also. And I'll probably do that all day. And kick. I get calls all day because I also take same day rides also.
Okay. Okay.
That's another thing that opens the door for you too, because a lot of companies don't take same day transports. They like their transports already be set, and then
Mhm.
they run it like that. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Just checking on my vans, just making sure stuff is running the way it's supposed to run, doing rides as they come in. That's pretty much a day for me, honestly.
Yeah. And I'm glad you pointed that out because you're right. There are some Well, I mean, we don't do a lot of same day anymore. We used to, but when
Okay.
we did do our same day transports, we were making really good money on those same
Yes.
day transports. So, for providers that are looking for a niche, long distance, same day, that may be something that you want to venture into, especially when you're first starting out in the industry.
Yeah.
But I want to say, Martin, because I want to point it out, you stepped away for 30 days.
Yes, I did.
So
Yes.
let's talk about how important it is to have good drivers and build a solid team so that, as a business owner, we can step away, take vacation to refresh, right? And then come
Yes.
back.
You definitely need some good drivers. And like I said, it still takes, it's still not easy.
Yeah.
Like my driver, since I've been back, one of the drivers still messed up since I've been back. So I'm just like, it's a hard game, honestly,
Yeah.
the grow. That's why I really hasn't tried to step on the gas and get a whole lot more vans because I know it's gonna be finding the right employees is still just a hard task, honestly.
Martin, I know you mentioned that even though you do have drivers that you still hop in your van and still, do
Oh yeah,
trips.
definitely.
Talk about that as well, because sometimes even with Jazz and I, we still do the same thing. If we have drivers call out, we still hop in our vans, we make it happen.
Right.
Um, but a lot of times we hear providers ask or people looking to start in this industry, like, why do you guys still drive your vehicles? Can you talk and share a little bit about the importance of still just being involved in the day-to-day operations of that?
Because nobody's gonna do your business like you. That's the reason why I'm in the van every day. Every day I'm in the van doing something. Even if I'm not working, I'm doing something to promote my business or fixing on vans, looking at vans, just keeping them up to date. But it's
Yeah.
very important for you yourself as an owner to be in that van. At least I think at least the first 5. I ain't even in my 5th year yet, but another reason why I say be in that van because I be places and people be like, "Oh, you got a card?" Yeah, I got a card. And that's when they know, like, oh, he got to be the business owner. Honestly, like people enjoy riding with the owner of the business. Honestly,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
so crazy because, with our clients, they don't initially, for our new clients, they don't know we're the business owner.
mm-hmm.
So we get so many people that ask questions. Well, how's this company treating you?
Mm-hmm.
How is this, they
Yeah,
ask all these questions. And in
yeah,
your head, you be like, it's my company. But if I had a driver, why you asking me these questions?
yeah,
Right.
Right. So,
yeah.
yeah. So that's definitely important. All right. So the next question is, do you have any private contracts? I know you answered that. Yes, you do. You talked about how you were able to secure that contract by, just going into the facilities, introducing your services.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the next question here is, what are some strategies you've used to grow your client base? You do any digital marketing or any of that?
I haven't done any digital marketing. My main thing of marketing is Google. On Google, I have about almost 80 reviews, and
Ooh.
so that right there in itself is what people look at. Honestly, I check other companies around my area. People might been in business 15 years, but they have 2 reviews on app on Google. Um, I could tell right now that's the reason why my phone does ring a lot for the same day rides. Private pay, I do a lot of private pay, honestly. Just off of reviews, honestly.
How do you encourage people to leave reviews? Like, what are some things you do to encourage them to leave reviews on Google for you?
Really, I just ask them like, do you have Google? You would definitely help me out a lot if you would leave me a good review. The same way you found me, another client can find me also, and that usually works. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, they didn't leave the review, man. Next thing I know, about an hour or two later, I see an email just pop up and saying that somebody just left you another review.
So by you having a Google present, being on Google and having your Google business profile and those reviews, they've probably, well, not probably, they have helped you out as far as bringing those phone calls in, those private pay clients.
Correct. It has. It has. I've got I've got a contract with a church off a private pay.
Oh,
I
nice.
take them to church twice a month, and that's been going on almost a year now. We do a contract every 6 months with the church, just to take a lady to church every first and third Sunday. And
Okay.
that came off of reviews, and that was early on. That's before I got as many as I got now. So that's like I said, the reviews do work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have a website too, Martin, or no?
Yes, I do. I do have a website. And your website needs to look good and professional, not just a little. I know trying to save money. Some people do make those little websites or whatnot, but people are looking at your website. Every time somebody looks at my website, like, oh man, it's very professional. Also, the way you answer your phone. I had a lady call just the other day, and I'm I answer the phone like, hey, this is Martin at We There. She was like, oh my God, I feel so much better now. It's very professional. And so that's another advice I would give on how you answer your phone calls.
Next question is, can you
I,
share a time when you faced a significant obstacle in your business and how you addressed it? Any challenges?
Yes, just recently I had a driver. I had a client riding with the driver, and the lady videotaped my driver because I didn't get a chance to look at the video yet. But when I looked at the video, I'm like, God, what is
Oh,
going on? Like, just got too comfortable. I guess I went away from 30 days, and now I'm back, and he just got so comfortable. He texting and driving. I'm like, oh my goodness. I mean, I sent him the video. I called. I text him, said, call me. Sent him the video that the lady sent me, and now I'm on the phone with him. Like, do you see this video right here? You got caught in 4K
wow.
texting for a whole minute, not paying attention to the road. I'm sorry, sir. That is unacceptable. Like to the like terminate immediately. Like it's no way possible you can be doing stuff like this while the residents in the vehicle. Like you have so much time in between time to do the texting and calling that you need to do. Like if the appointment is an hour long, you have an hour long to do that. The ride is 30 to 40 minutes. Stay off the phone for that 30 to 40 minutes. That's all you had to do. This is
Yeah,
probably one of the easiest jobs a person can get.
yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
yeah, that was just recently, like 2 days ago. So, and I'm
Yeah,
still dealing with that right now. Like trying to I got Indeed out right now, looking for another employee right now.
So
yeah.
you did terminate that employee.
Yes, ma'am. That's an automatic termination.
Well,
Yeah.
see, that goes back to, nobody's going to come into the business, cherish the business, cherish your clients the way that you are as the
You're
business
not.
owner. So always keeping an eye out on your staff, but also letting them know that, hey, not only am I keeping an eye out on you, the clients are too, right?
Clients
Yes,
are
And it was evident,
yes,
evident because she pulled out her camera and started recording. So
mm-hmm.
now that he's no longer with your company, here you are left to one, look for another driver, but also redeem yourself with that client, right? Because
Exactly.
you got a track record, you got over 80 reviews
Mhm.
of good
Yes,
service. So
yes.
that one bad video
Mm-hmm.
could mess everything up for you.
And I can say this that the reason why the lady sent it to me was because she had just rolled with me recently since I've been back. And she just got that. I open up, I talk to them, I communicate with people. I don't just be sitting there quiet in the van. I talk to them, see what they do, and find out she's like in higher up in the public transportation in a little town. So she was
Oh,
like, Martin, I know how passionate you are with your business. I just don't want this to keep happening. I just want you to know what I seen. So
mm,
Oh,
that was very helpful for her to even do that. But again, me being in the van at one point, talking to them, they built a bond with me to the point they didn't even want to expose that. You
yeah.
understand?
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Thank God.
yeah,
And
yeah.
luckily she did send it to you instead of doing a Google review. Because how much
Mm-hmm.
more damaging could that
Man,
have
that would
been
have been
for you?
damaging. That would have hurt real bad, honestly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Martin, do you have any type of camera system in your vans, or after this incident, are you considering cameras in the vehicle?
I'm definitely considering, but that's one thing I got to just look into my contract because that's the reason why I haven't done it because they were saying something about HIPAA. So I'm just like, okay, now I got to dig a little deeper into that. So that's something I'm working on. That's why I said this is a definitely issue that I'm trying to figure out right now as we speak.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Martin, did you bootstrap your business or did you seek loans or grants to financially operate and start your business when you started?
Yeah, I bootstrapped this.
Okay.
I
Okay.
sold the trucks and just bought a van, and then I worked them vans and then bought another van. Worked that van and bought another van.
So it sounds like you reinvested back into your business.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, we did that as well. We did
Yeah,
that
I
as
think
well.
it's the best way because with trucking, I did a lot of them loans and stuff. Man, it tear you up honestly. Like it puts you behind. Like it seemed good, but soon as your business get run slow, something bad happens, man, that's when you feel it the worst. So I wouldn't advise anyone trying to get any crazy loans. Something that you can pay off fast, but I wouldn't get into too much debt trying to start something.
I think we kind of asked you this, but if there's anything additional you want to share, you can definitely do so. How do you market your services to ensure consistent demand, like to make sure your business is constantly growing and thriving? What are some things you kind of put in place?
Really just being available. I think that's like the main thing that I do. Just being available when people call, we know where you did get us there somehow. Like we had a call this morning. Somebody need to go get an x-ray from a nursing home. I was like, let me make one call real quick for you. And that's another thing I would say. When they call you, like, give me 1 second. And you tell, just make it seem like you had to put so much together, which I didn't. But it's something that helps out as also.
You're right. Even though you got a ride, it's like let me make you feel like you kind of need
Yeah.
this
Oh,
and
they
this.
knew
Special.
you was
So
gonna do
you
it.
can appreciate the services
Yes,
Yes.
I'm
exactly,
offering you today.
exactly.
People want to feel prioritized. Like they want to
Exactly.
like you change your schedule around to accommodate them, and
Mm-hmm.
they will keep that in mind and think about you in the future as well. Like, we call him at the last minute, he was able to accommodate us. Let's try him. Let's try this company again. So
Yeah, exactly,
yeah, it
exactly.
works.
Oh, another thing is word of mouth works a lot. Word of mouth is like, and then promote your business all the time. Like I make a lot of Instagram. I probably don't get but 4 likes. Who cares? But I had a call yesterday. Somebody was like, "Hey, Martin, I gave out your company name a few months ago." And mind you, I didn't even know they was even watching what I was doing at the time. But basically, it's a whole nother contract about to start just because somebody put my name in the right ear. And now they called me yesterday and was like, "Yeah, here's the process. I just sent you the email letting you know I've already did my research on your company." And
What?
that's off of Google. I know that's the only way she's seen what my business is doing. But right there in itself,
Wow.
Wow,
yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah. And it's with another hospital. So I got like 2 hospitals I'm with already. So this will be the third hospital.
Okay.
So
So let me ask you this because I know we get this question a lot as well, where individuals will ask when you are partnering with the hospital, who pays for the ride?
the
Does the
hospital,
hospital or the clients?
the hospital.
Okay. All right. Because I know a lot of our viewers have that question. So I wanted to make
But
sure.
but you need to have a contract with a hospital. Because
Absolutely.
I had instances where I had this when I first started. Company knew that I would always come, and then they stopped paying. They paid one time with their debit card, but then if you don't have that contract, they don't have to pay you. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So they'll drag it along, and I had to call the higher up. I was going up there, sitting in there, like, yeah, I'm trying to talk to her today, because now this is at the beginning. I need every dollar counted at the beginning. So they got tired of seeing my face every day because I'm going every day that I went past the hospital. I'm going in there trying to figure out when am I getting paid, and that's when I knew don't be doing that with no hospital if you don't have no contract because they will like have you looking for money, waiting on money, and that's not a good look.
Skilled nursing facilities as well. And that's
Yeah.
what we always point out to people, even with, and actually they be the main ones. The
Yes.
hospitals and the skilled nursing facilities will have you on trips, but then, turn around, they'll have you trying to figure out, okay, when am I getting paid? You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So it's definitely important for you to have a solid contract. But we're always firm believers like if we don't have no contract, then you need to pay us before we can
Before the ride.
ride.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Because
And
if
most
not,
contracts are net 30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's another thing that's kind of like it hurts you at the beginning because all your money done put into the vans. Now you got these high payments. That's why I say don't try to get that free money in because it's gonna take a while to get it back and to get the money back from your rides with nurse home.
I was just gonna say too really quick, and don't let those contracts, those invoices go outstanding beyond 30 days before you try to recoup your
No,
money. Because like if they're
no.
not paying those invoices, you need to be following up immediately as well.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And while we're on the subject of revenue and, just bringing in revenue for your business, as it pertains to, do you do ambulatory? You do ambulatory,
Yeah,
right?
I do amateur. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for those providers that are looking to start their transportation business, just doing ambulatory rides, what would be your advice with that?
So I don't get a lot of ambulatory. I did just do an ambulatory like yesterday, and that's because I got a contract with what is it, workman's comp or something like that,
Hmm.
and they gave me ambulatories. But like I said, I really don't get a lot of ambulatory, so I really don't want to give anybody the wrong information. 'Cause it's very hard to get those, honestly.
Okay. Okay. So what about gurney trips? Do you get more gurney or more wheelchair? I think you said more wheelchair, right?
It's more wheelchair, but like me myself, that's what I do. Gurneys. That's what I do every day. That's what I'm doing. Gurney. Unless I don't have a gurney, I do wheelchair. But most of the time, when I'm driving around, I'm doing gurneys.
And is doing gurney transport, is it more lucrative for you than the wheelchair?
Definitely, by far.
So, Martin, what do you think are the top three skills or qualities an NEMT business owner needs in this industry to succeed?
Yeah, dedication. That's a good one. I didn't even think
Hustle.
about it. So yeah, you
Also,
got
for
to have a
sure.
hustle. You got to have a hard work mentality, and also I would say communication skills because you want to be able to talk. Even to get the contract, you have to be able to talk. You want to talk to your clients also, and you've seen that done saved me before by being able to communicate. So I would definitely say those three.
Now, so for North Carolina, is North Carolina a broker state?
Yes, it is, but I have stayed away from brokers.
Okay.
I haven't. The only thing I have is a workman's comp, and the only reason why I had that workman's comp because I had went to an NMT type of event that was in Charlotte one time, and I met a few people. And the lady called me from Charlotte, was like, I got this ride. And I think she was doing like a third party thing. Like she would get the rides from them and send me and then just pay me directly.
Hmm.
But I don't know if they found out, but the lady liked me so much that I was taking. She told the company, like, yeah, that's the only people I want to take me. So I got a contract off of that.
Wow.
Wow,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And that's how I got with workman's comp. I never even looked them up, tried to get business with them or nothing. It was just off of the lady said, I only want this company to take me. They reached out to me, said, do you want to do business with us? Sent me a contract. I signed it. And that's how I got that little ambulatory ride just 2 days ago.
And
So, Martin,
just to
oh, go
give
ahead.
people a little bit of insight, so with that ambulatory ride, that being a broker trip, like, can you give us a roundabout dollar amount of how much that reimbursement is for the round trip?
So they only gave me $50 for that ride.
For a round trip?
Yeah, round trip with the little weight that I did also. They really don't, I don't see a lot of money in ambulatory because I think they treat it almost like Uber or them like that. Kind of. That's what it seems like to me. And
Okay.
that's the first ambulatory I've done in a long time.
How
So
many
now
miles was that trip? Do you recall?
20 miles
Oh,
round
that's a
trip
lot of
though.
miles. Okay, so 10 and 10?
Yeah, 10 to 10.
Okay. Okay.
When I did the math, it was mileage only. That's basically all it was mileage.
Oh, okay. And they did
Yeah.
pay you for the wait time.
No, ma'am. No
Oh,
wait time. That's one thing about those. They don't like paying wait time or anything. Like I said, I like helping people, so I wasn't doing anything. So I just went and did it. Because everything ain't about money with me. I don't know about everybody else, but everybody else, if you running off of money, you definitely gonna run yourself to the ground.
right.
Yeah.
Well, like
Yeah.
you said too, I'm sure if you would have had a wheelchair client or a stretcher client, you would have
Yeah,
prioritized that before
definitely,
the Ambi, but you
definitely.
had the time to squeeze it in. So, there are a lot of NEMT providers that do use those broker trips to kind of fill in the gaps. And it sounds
Right.
like that's exactly what you did.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Let's talk about I'm sorry, Monica. I know you want to get to your next question, but I wanted to ask a question that's not on our list. Um now,
You
I mean,
always
because I
adding
want to make,
questions.
I'm trying to, because I know our subscribers, they have a lot of questions and they want insight. And so, um, for you, Martin, wheelchair wheelchair trip versus stretcher ride, right? Um, how much would you say a wheelchair trip would be if a client is going, let's just say 20 miles there and back, and then the same thing for stretcher, just so people could see like the profitability and the
Mhm.
difference in pricing for both of those services.
So Gurney would probably be more around just it's like $2 difference in the mileage,
Okay.
but the what is it
Base
called?
rate.
The base rate is higher with Gurney.
Okay.
Wheelchair is basically $100 round trip
Okay.
plus the mileage plus your wait time. Gurney is like a few $100 more than that plus the mileage and your wait time is higher. So Gurney gonna always pay more, but like I said, it's not as easy to find those rides as it is wheelchair rides. That's the difference.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
So, Martin, if you could go back in time, what advice would you give to yourself when starting out? So,
Hmm.
when you initially started this business, if you could give yourself some advice or change something, what would it be?
Hmm. Uh, that's a good question. Let's see. Um,
If it's nothing, just say nothing.
I
well,
know.
right now, how I'm going, I needed each thing that has happened. I needed it. So I kind of like how it went because I learned from my mistakes. I made mistakes, and I needed everything that has happened, even to the point my driver just did that the other day. I needed that to happen to wake me up to see, like, okay, you're not doing something. You need to do this a little bit better. So I don't feel like I did anything that I could have improved on, but you always can improve on something. So it's got to be
Not
something. I just can't think of it right now. But right now, I can't think. Yeah, I really don't, because I think I kind of went. I did good. I think right now, right now.
honestly, I like that response because I think that's true. Like everything that you endured, you had to because those are ways to learn and to be better in your business. And what other way of doing that besides learning by your mistakes, right? And that's how you get better and you grow. So I like that response. That's true. That's how you were able to, grow.
All right. So the next question is, are there any misconceptions about running an NEMT business that you like to address?
Yes, the owner needs to be in the van. That's just my main thing because I see everybody wanting to start this and oh, I'm gonna get about two people to run it for me. No, I wouldn't do that. That's what I think the biggest one.
To actually learn the operation.
Yes, you need to know every single thing that you're gonna encounter. You don't know everything that you're gonna encounter, like even to the point where your lifts break down. If you're not on there and don't know what to do to fix it or to have to do it a manual, then you're in a whole nother issue. Like now you got to try to call another company because I've had other companies call me like, so how do you work the manual? You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, you need to know everything that you're gonna deal with these vans and these clients.
Yeah.
And that leads me to I know we're kind of winding down on our questions, but I did want to ask you about community, right? The NEMT community. Have you built any relationships with any providers in your area, or you just kind of keep to yourself?
Well, I have at the beginning, we definitely had a little group of people. We were all using each other. Like when they would go down, they'd be like, "Hey, can you help me out?" And I feel right in, so they wouldn't lose their rides. Um, I say the further I've gotten, we haven't been communicating as much, and some of them have even had to get out of it because things got overwhelming. They bought too many vans, and then they weren't having enough. workload. So some people were running the stuff that I wasn't running into. I'm not sure what was happening because I wasn't talking to them all the time, but I have seen where people were running to little issues that I wasn't running into. Um, but yeah, yeah. So I did have a community, but now kind of more like y'all call me, I'll call you back. But no, I kind of outside by myself right now.
Okay. Because I know in the beginning of our conversation, you mentioned having one van and you purchased your second van because you were afraid, that
Yeah.
van of
Yes.
van breaking
Yeah.
down. So that's good that you guys, had built a relationship that way to support one another.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we're big on community and I feel like, that's definitely important to have that support. And also, industry things are always changing. There's always something going on in our industry. So to be able to have those types of conversations about NEMT and changes with someone that's in the same space as you is really important.
Yeah.
What would you say, or how do you feel about mentorship? Do you feel like it would help individuals that are looking to start to seek mentorship, or would you just suggest diving in the way that you did?
I think diving in, I always mentors can always help. It just depends on the type of mentor. That's really it. Because when I had trucking, I had a mentor, but that mentor didn't want me to succeed better than they were doing. So it's
Mm,
all about the mentor, honestly.
yeah, yeah, that's true. That's horrible.
I
I
Offering
know.
know.
a mentor.
Right,
I
because
know.
I
It's
mean, we
terrible.
don't have some mentees that have surpassed us on a number of vehicles that they decide to
Right.
purchase for their fleet, and
Mm-hmm.
we encourage that
Yeah.
growth. Like,
Not everybody's like that.
Yeah.
Everybody's not like that. It's
wow,
terrible, but
They not like us. They not
no,
like
they're
us.
not like us. Exactly. Like I don't mind giving out game. Like I have people hit me up sometimes and ask me different questions. I answer the question because either way, it's not going to interfere with what I have going on. Giving a free advice doesn't.
You better watch what you say, Martin. Okay, because they already know
Oh,
we'll give you transportation. You're gonna have some DMs, some emails. You're gonna be like, man, I need to be a consultant now.
yep.
all right.
And then when you start getting those calls, you're gonna be like, okay, what did I do? Like, I need to start charging because it will take up a lot of your time answering those questions and emails. So,
Okay.
But
Well,
it's definitely good to be able to support people on their journey.
yeah.
We get so many people that say, I've been on my job 20 years. I got laid off. Like,
Mm,
to take somebody from that space and help them navigate their journey of being an entrepreneur and really creating um, the life that they want on their own terms, like
right.
that just speaks volume. I say all the time that we go and it's easy to get a 9 to 5 job, right?
Very easy.
People hiring, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you just got to take a chance on yourself. If you know it's something that you want to do, you truly want to do, and you want to give it your all, then just step away and give it a shot. If it don't work, you can always go back to that 9 to 5 job. So
Definitely right.
yeah,
Just on how hard you want it.
absolutely. And my last question for you is in regards to you being in trucking and having that experience with like creating your routes and stuff like that. Do you feel like that has helped you in your business? And are you utilizing software?
I'm not using software. I will be looking at something very soon because that new contract they said something about a new software they want me to how they gonna send rides and stuff. So that's something I'm about to get into. I'm feeling like the next week or two. So
Okay. So as it pertains to software, is there one thing that you feel could benefit your business as far as like the type of software or the type of feature that you're looking for in a software? Like what would make your life easier in business?
probably just on using the software to get people to book the rides. I think that will, eventually help me out a little bit more because right now I'm just answering the call, getting in my book, putting in my book, and then
Mhm.
going. That's really how I'm doing it right now. And then the nursing homes and the hospitals, they're just directly calling me or sending me an email
Mhm.
telling me we need this ride this day. So I have heard of other companies are doing it a different way. So I am going to look into that. It's something like Google. I can't remember. I had set
And
it up.
like the like a web booker where like the
Yeah.
case manager can go pull up online and just book the ride.
Yes, ma'am. I've heard that's helping other facilities book transports now. So I'm looking into it. Just haven't got all the way dug all the way in yet.
Yeah. And it also can be a good selling point, you know, when
Yeah.
you go in and negotiate these contracts and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely.
Are you thinking about allowing potential clients to book on from your website as well?
I am, but I do have it where they can send an email off the website. So that's how I'm using it right now.
Okay.
But I haven't had a lot of, I know that software costs, so I'm just, minimizing costs until it gets to a point that I need that service. Yeah.
Well, there's software out there that that you pay a percentage per trip versus like a monthly fee. So like rather than paying $60 a month, you can pay a percentage on
each ride.
Yeah, on each ride. So it really just depends on your volume. But of course, if you have a lot of value, then it makes more sense to do the monthly versus 50 cents or 20 cents per ride,
Okay.
But I always tell providers when they're looking for software, you definitely want to think about, okay, this is my operations. What would make my life easier? And does this software support what I'm trying to do in my business now? And then also like in 5 to 10 years, right? So, yep. But I think the web booker is definitely a great feature. So definitely I would put that in your marketing material.
It'll be in there very soon.
Right. Because it's not a lot of providers that offer that, right?
Right. Definitely right.
All right, Martin, this is our last question for you. What are your future goals for Will You There Transportation, and how do you plan to achieve those goals?
I guess my goals is, I'm probably gonna at least add 2 more vans, find a few more good employees, and just keep consistent work. Pretty much, that's really what I'm at. Just getting consistent work, a few vans, good workers. That'll be my goal for the next few years, honestly.
Okay. We can definitely see you doing that too. We can definitely see you growing your fleet size, adding new drivers. We can see your business going to the next phase. So, we're congratulations already. We're already telling you congratulations
Yeah, thank
for
you.
what's to come in the future for you, but yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And I will say, if you guys are not following Martin on Instagram, definitely go follow him because it's really refreshing to see his level of care with his clients, and also see him grinding.
Yeah.
That's what really, really stood out to me. And I'm like, we would go back and forth in the DMs, like, I see you, hey, so, he got me excited. I'm like, shoot, let me go pick up a van and go, do a couple trips or something, because it's nice to see. So Martin, if you don't mind, if you could share your Instagram handle, so that people can follow you and maybe, you could be an inspiration to them.
All right. Yeah. So Will You There on Instagram, and Will You There on Facebook, and Will You There on what is it called? TikTok.
Well, thank you so much, Martin, for joining us on our platform. We really appreciate it. Thank you for being, a shining example of what good service looks like in the NEMT industry. And Monica and I wish you much success on your continued growth in the NEMT industry. And hopefully one day we will get to meet you in person and, share our stories about NEMT service, crazy stories, good stories, stories that make you cry.
That's fine. Sounds good. I appreciate y'all having me, taking out your time, y'all busy schedule, but continue to share the word and help people grow.
Thank you,
I know
Martin.
it's inspiring to people, so I appreciate y'all again.
All right. Take care, Martin.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.